Good Thursday morning, everyone. It is the 12th of June, and this is the Kaiser Report. Kaiser and I are here to talk to you today about a few things that are going on in and around the country. That is a little bit upsetting right now, that the things in California that are taking place, and the governors of several states that are going to get together today to talk about their resistance to the law that is being enforced by ICE and the roundup of some citizenry that are here illegally, that did not go through the process of a legal entry into this country, that crashed a border for 4 years under the invitation by the Democratic Party and its leader, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, along with the left side of the congressional aisle, that allowed over 20 million people to crash through our border unvetted, unchecked, and we know not from whence in some cases they came. It is breaking the law. And now that we have a law and order government back in charge, where we're not using an auto pen to make decisions and having sycophants and unelected bureaucrats making decisions for us, we have a president right now that has instructed his cabinet to take care of the problem in rounding up these people so they can reapply to come into this country legally. And the criminal element that is being found along the way of rounding up these people are also going to have to be looked at. And if that is the case, if they are criminals, if they're wanted for anything, or murderers or rapists or drug dealers or cartel members, they need to come back to where they came from and not threaten our society any longer. Gang members are not welcome here, and that is clear and present. Whether or not our news organization will ever get to the realization that that is a problem, that's another story. But the news media, like MSNBC or MSDNC, as some call it, their host breaks down over what's happening in the roundup of people, even at places like Home Depot, where they're hanging out to probably try and get work where they don't have to pay taxes and get paid under the table. This is why they gather there. Or they're gathering there to break into your car while you're not looking, or you're in the store shopping. So let's take a look at some of the media where the host just breaks down right here.
Donald Trump, when he was out there on the stump, when he was running for president, the argument he made to the American people was that there were criminals in this country, and he was going to prioritize the deportation of those criminals. We had Tom Homan, the border czar, this weekend say to our colleague Jacob Soboroff that they are opening the aperture, that simply having arrived in this country without a legal process means that you are now a criminal. And there's new reporting today in the Wall Street Journal that says this is all coming from Stephen Miller, which I could have guessed, you could have guessed, but here it is in print. Let me read you just a little. Gang members and violent criminals, what Trump called the worst of the worst, weren't the sole target of deportations. Federal agents needed to just go out there and arrest illegal aliens, Miller told top ICE officials. They're showing up at Home Depot. Yeah. They're showing up at the car wash. They're showing up at garment factories.
At people's jobs. At their jobs. They took people on lunch break.
There's not what people voted for. Yeah. There's not what people voted for.
There's not what people voted for.
All right. Let's take a look.
Where is the country's voters on this issue? CNN's Harry Anton took a look at the numbers around, interestingly enough, how immigrant voters feel about immigration and the immigration crackdown.
Closest to or trust more in immigration. You go back to 2020. Democrats, get this, held a 32-point lead on this issue. Immigrant voters were in the Democratic camp. Jump forward to 2024, 2025. Look at that shift, a 40 8-point shift to the right among immigrant voters. Republicans now lead on this issue by 8 points over Democrats, more so than any other group that I could find. The group of voters who became more hawkish on immigration were, in fact, immigrants themselves, immigrants who are registered to vote in this country.
They are showing up at garment factories.
At people's jobs. At their jobs. They took people on lunch break.
There's not what people voted for.
Yeah.
Why are people approving of Trump on immigration, approve of these different immigration actions, while Trump's administration's program to deport those here illegally? Look at this, 54% approval. How about agents searching your hometown for those that they think are here illegally? Again, positive territory here, above 50% for Donald Trump.
Hey! We don't want problems here, right? You're making a serious mistake in judgment, sir. I am American.
You gotta work on your accent, Pablo.
Could we, you want to talk to my wife, Jane?
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah. We'll call your wife Jane, and we'll ask her if you're American. And then we'll call my wife Jennifer, and his wife Jacqueline, too.
It's ringing, it's ringing.
Hola.
I'm an American!
Not anymore.
It's interesting on how their hearts go out to the element of people that bring nothing to our society other than the fact that they were able to cross through an open border and get onto a welfare system or a social help system or a free hotel room with free phones and a check and a card, a debit card to go shopping with. This is what you had going on for 4 years, and now that somebody wants to look into it and make the corrections needed to bring us back to normalcy here in this country, the news media just can't handle it. The Democrats can't handle it. There's a whole side of the left aisle that cannot come to grips with this. They can't come to grips with their own DNC person that has to not be reelected now because he threatened the fact that people that got the seat and kept the seat for life on the Democratic side, and as well some Republicans too, this guy wanted to have them primaried and get them out of there because they're in their 80s and late 70s and have been in those seats for far too long. We need term limits. And yes, we do need some younger people coming in with better ideas, but not these crazy ideas that some of the people that are in the streets hollering about this have to offer the Democratic Party. We need really good thinking people that have been successful in some walk of life, as our founding fathers did. You came in, served your term in government, and went back to your walk of life. I say this all the time. We know this, but yet we keep electing career politicians that bring nothing new and nothing helpful to the floor of Congress that are in charge of making legislative decisions that will benefit or not benefit John Q. Public. And we have voted for change here. In case you forgot, there's 77 plus million of us that came out and said we want the immigration cleaned up. We want the murderers, thieves, and thugs out of our country that came in illegally. And this is what's taking place right now, and the Democrats can't handle what's going on here. And with their media alongside and their sycophants that have to carry the message through to the public, by the way, lying to each and every one of us as we go along, let's take a look here.
This is day 52. I thought it was day 92. It turns out it's day 52, Rachel, and I'm exhausted at day 52. And so I'm going to take next week off. And I'm telling you that now because I know you don't like it when I just drift away. And just taking next week off. Then I come back
They are obsessed with culture war issues. The Republican Party is obsessed with culture war issues. It is weird and it is bizarre. They are obsessed with culture war issues. The Republican Party is obsessed with culture war issues. It is weird and it is bizarre.
Yo, he told you what was going to happen. He told you what was going to happen. Columbia University and these universities. He said you go around and you find out. That's basically what he said. He said you want to keep placating, you want to keep playing games with these terrorist supporters, these terrorist sympathizers, these terrorist fanboys and fangirls. We're going to squeeze you real nice and real proper. At Columbia University, you just lost $400 million. $400 million. That ain't nothing to scoff at.
Do you think President Biden was up to the job mentally?
You know, I'm going to be confessional here, Dana. I'm like so many other Democrats wanted to believe, and we were wrong. And we should have been more critical.
Do you think you were lied to?
I don't think I was lied to. I think it was magical thinking. We wanted to believe what we wanted.
Flawless victory.
Well, it's interesting at best, and what they're planning, and with the blessing of the Democratic Party, they're calling for more demonstrations throughout the blue cities, and the governors of these cities and states are getting, and mayors of these cities are getting ready to have a big meeting today to discuss how they're going to handle getting these protesters entrenched in their cities right now, and how they're going to fight and order their police departments not to engage with the federal authorities that are coming in to exercise the federal laws. This is a problem. If you don't think Gavin Newsom and Tampon Tim Walz are a problem, if you don't think that Hochul in New York City, Chipmunk Face herself, is a problem, then you have a problem. Because I got to tell you, these people are not on the side of our what we voted for in any way, shape, or fashion. And if you want to hear crybabies talk about, oh, what's happening with the roundup, let's look at celebrities that can't leave their home because they're just ashamed, and they just don't know how, without crying, to tell you how bad off things are. Let's take a look at what doesn't want to save America right here.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to get on here and finally compose myself to do a message because of everything that's happening with the mass deportations. Every time I try to record a message, I just start crying, and then I don't want it to be about me and my emotions about it, but it's just so inhumane.
Come on, cry, baby, cry for me. Come on, cry.
It's hard. It's hard to witness from afar. I can't imagine what it's like to be in Los Angeles right now.
This is so ridiculous. This doesn't look like this is for they're protesting for ICE or anything. This is they're doing just for the looting the stores and everything. I saw they break into the Apple store, they break into the Adidas store. This is not they're doing protests.
And we're just getting started.
I can't believe it's happening in Austin, Texas. I can't believe it's happening all over the country. And the comments and people's reactions to it is really so surprising to me because it is un-American. We all can agree nobody wants criminals in our country. Nobody wants rapists, nobody wants drug dealers, nobody wants bad actors in our country. That's not what's happening.
That's not what's happening.
Oh, really?
We joined one of more than a dozen ICE teams deployed all across the state yesterday as they arrested a murderer, multiple child rapists, and a fentanyl trafficker, all of whom had been roaming freely on Massachusetts streets.
ICE quickly moves on its first target and arrests him. He's a Salvadoran illegal alien on El Salvador's most wanted list, with an Interpol red notice out for his arrest for aggravated murder, aggravated kidnapping, and robbery.
He sounds like a great guy. I'd love to hear some more of his neat poetry.
And I just hope that everybody has more compassion to this issue and realize we have industries dependent on immigrant labor. These are people who feed us and take care of us and take care of our families and our children and our communities, and we can't deny them as humans. We just can't. And those of you that keep yelling, well, you should have come here legally, do it, get in the back of the line. There is no line. There's no line, this mythical line that everybody's talking about.
Get back in line.
And I just ask for you guys to educate yourself. If you're out there yelling, good, they deserve this. They don't. These are hardworking people from my community, and I think we need to have more compassion.
That I can't do.
Oh my God.
Well, that is just interesting at best, isn't it? Well, that'll bring us through a little walk down the streets of Stupid Town one more time, and then we'll see what today in stupidity will bring us as a country. But we'll be showing you that here momentarily. But until then, we need to pray and pray daily for the salvation of some of these people that are thinking how to run their states and their cities with these governors that are just hell-bent on seeing chaos in the streets because they think that this is how to defeat Donald Trump. They haven't come to the realization yet that they lost the election. Donald Trump won. We, the American people, have spoken, and we are standing behind our president and his cabinet of people that are trying to do the job that they are tasked with and being blocked every day by the Democratic Party and by mainstream media. So let's go to Stupid Town.
I just have to say that if you dial back time and go to Friday, if immigration raids had not happened here, we would not have the disorder that went on last night. I will tell you that it is peaceful now, but we do not know where and when the next raids will be. That is the concern, because people in the city have a rapid response network. If they see ICE, they go out and they protest. And so it's just a recipe for pandemonium that is completely unnecessary. Nothing was happening here. Los Angeles was peaceful before Friday. What was the reason that the president had to take the power from the governor and federalize the National Guard?
Right now, if you need help, emergency information, resources is available. All of this can be found at URL.
What was the reason?
What a dumbass.
Because people in the city have a rapid response network. If they see ICE, they go out and they...
Well, there's your day in Stupid Town. And it is Thursday. We're approaching a weekend here. We're going to be coming to you tomorrow with a Kaiser Report. That will be Friday, embarking on a great weekend. And it will also signal my embarkation to a week of vacation that we will be out next week and about. I can't tell you where we're going, but we will be moving around in somewhere in the Appalachian region, and probably we'll have a camera with us, and we may be giving you a surprise program from wherever we are if we find something interesting enough and safe enough to go ahead and film. So we'll be out all next week on vacation. We won't have a regular Kaiser Report coming to you Monday through Friday next week, but we'll be back the week after in earnest with a regular programming schedule. We wish you all a great rest of this Thursday, and remember, pray for our leaders, pray for the dummies on the left side of the aisle and the crazy people on the right side as well. They need your prayers to come to the realization that their incorrect thinking in all of what's going on is the problem in this country today. And we need to solve it at the voting booths come the midterm elections, because these Democrats are fighting to keep the illegals in place because they view it as a vote, nothing else. It's not bringing anything but a vote to these people. So with that, we're going to say God bless you all and have a great rest of the Thursday. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more commentary and a look-see at the stupidity that reigns supreme in the country today. Bye-bye now.